Johnny Dang built a $200 million empire by putting diamonds in the mouths of hip-hop's biggest stars. For over 2 decades, the Vietnamese immigrant known as the King of Bling was untouchable, the jeweler every rapper trusted with their millions. But in 2021, whispers began to spread through the industry. Lab reports came back questionable. Former employees spoke out. Rappers began testing their pieces. What followed wasn't just one confrontation. It was an entire industry waking up to uncomfortable truths about trust, authenticity, and what happens when millions of dollars in jewelry might not be exactly what it seems. The rise of the King of Bling. Johnny Dang's story is the American dream wrapped in diamonds. Born Jean Antoine in 1973 in Vietnam's Giach Lach province, he came from a family that understood the jewelry trade. His grandfather and father both worked with precious metals and stones, but opportunities in post-war Vietnam were limited. In 1987, when Johnny was just 14, his father left for America. 9 years later, in 1996, 23-year-old Johnny and his family followed. Landing in Houston, Texas, Johnny didn't have much. He started where many immigrants do, at the very bottom. Working with his brother at a Houston flea market, Johnny repaired watches and fixed broken jewelry. The work was tedious, the money was tight, but Johnny had vision. In 1998, just 2 years after arriving in America, he opened his first store, TV Jewelry, at the Sharpstown Mall. The breakthrough came when Johnny found his niche, grills. Before Johnny Dang revolutionized the game, grills were simple gold or silver caps that covered teeth. They'd been around in hip-hop since the 1980s, but they were basic. Johnny saw potential for artistry. He started creating intricate designs with invisible diamond settings, custom patterns, and quality that nobody had seen before. The turning point arrived when Houston rapper Paul Wall walked into his shop. Wall needed grills, and Johnny delivered something spectacular. The collaboration was so successful that in 2002, they went into business together. Paul Wall's rising fame became free advertising for Johnny Dang, and soon every Houston rapper wanted a piece of what Johnny was creating. By the mid-2000s, Johnny Dang wasn't just a local jeweler, he was becoming a hip-hop institution. Slim Thug, Mike Jones, and other Houston artists made Johnny's grills part of their signature looks. When rappers from other cities visited Houston, getting Johnny Dang grills became a must-do. His client list expanded to include the biggest names in music: Beyoncé, Travis Scott, Drake, Lil Jon, Nelly, and countless others. How hip-hop's jewelry culture created the perfect storm. To understand the controversy that would eventually surround Johnny Dang, you need to understand hip-hop's relationship with jewelry. It's not just about looking flashy, it's about survival, status, and proving you've made it out. In hip-hop culture, jewelry serves multiple purposes. First, it's visual proof of success. When you come from neighborhoods where poverty is generational, wearing hundreds of thousands of dollars around your neck sends a message: I made it. Second, jewelry is portable wealth. Unlike real estate or stocks, you can wear your investment. Third, it's marketing. A rapper covered in ice in a music video is creating an image of success that sells records and builds brands. This cultural importance created a massive market. By the 2000s, rappers were spending millions on custom pieces. A single chain could cost $500,000. Grills with intricate diamond work ran $50,000 to $100,000. Watches were modified with diamonds, sometimes costing more than the original luxury timepiece. The jewelry became as important as the music itself. But here's where the problem started. Most rappers aren't diamond experts. They're artists who suddenly have money and want to stunt. They trust their jeweler to give them quality for the price they're paying. This trust-based system works fine until it doesn't. The business model for celebrity jewelers is brilliant, but complex. When Johnny Dang posts a photo with Travis Scott wearing his jewelry, that's worth more than any advertisement. It's social proof that drives other artists to his door. The relationship is mutually beneficial. Rappers get status symbol jewelry, jewelers get celebrity endorsements. However, this system has a dark side. Without independent verification, buyers are trusting jewelers to honestly represent what they're selling. And in the diamond industry, the difference between what something is and what it's sold as can mean hundreds of thousands of dollars. The accusations begin to surface. The first cracks in Johnny Dang's reputation appeared around 2021. It started with whispers on social media, vague posts from other jewelers questioning the quality of work coming from certain Houston shops. Nobody named names initially, but industry insiders knew who they were talking about. Then came something more concrete. An ex-employee spoke out. In April 2021, A former worker at Johnny Dang's shop made claims about the diamonds being used. The allegations suggested that some customers were getting lab-grown or lower quality diamonds while being charged prices for natural high-grade stones. Lab-grown diamonds look identical to natural diamonds to the naked eye. Even under most jewelers' equipment, they're nearly impossible to distinguish. The only reliable way to tell them apart is through specialized testing. But here's the critical part. Lab-grown diamonds cost a fraction of what natural diamonds cost. A natural 1-carat diamond might sell for $10,000, while a lab-grown equivalent could cost $1,000 or less. If a jeweler is charging natural diamond prices but using lab-grown stones, the profit margins become astronomical. And if customers aren't independently testing their purchases, they might never know. The controversy intensified when Houston rapper Sauce Walka entered the picture. Sauce had been a long-time customer of Johnny Dang, spending hundreds of thousands on jewelry over the years. But the relationship soured in 2024. The breaking point came when Sauce got new grills from Johnny's former employee, Jose Gio Mata. Mata had worked for Johnny Dang but left in April 2021 to start his own business. When Sauce Walka debuted a $1 million permanent grill created by Gio, he made comments about upgrading from his Johnny Dang pieces. The implication was clear. What Johnny had been providing wasn't the highest quality. Johnny Dang fired back with a heated video response. "Sauce, how long we know each other, man?" "Over some 20 years. Johnny said in his Instagram post. "I never gave you shit for free, and I never asked for free shit, you know? But don't fucking disrespect my name, bro. Can't do that, don't do that shit." The public back and forth revealed tensions that had been building for years. Sauce Walka wasn't just switching jewelers, he was making a quality statement. The science behind the scam. To understand how jewelers can finesse customers, you need to understand diamond grading. The Gemological Institute of America, GIA, created the international standard for evaluating diamonds using the 4 C's: cut, color, clarity, and carat weight. Clarity measures how many imperfections, called inclusions, are in a diamond. The scale goes from flawless, no inclusions visible under 10 times magnification, down through VVS, very, very slightly included, VS, very slightly included, SI, slightly included, to I, included with visible flaws. The difference in price between a VVS 1 diamond and an SI 2 can be 10 times or more. Color grades how clear or tinted a diamond is. The scale runs from D, completely colorless, to Z, light yellow or brown. A D-colored diamond is significantly more valuable than a J-colored diamond, even if they're the same size. Here's where the finessing happens. Grading has some subjectivity. What one gemologist calls VVS2, another might call VS1. This gray area gives dishonest jewelers wiggle room. They can claim a stone is higher quality than it actually is, and without independent certification from GIA or another reputable lab, customers have to take their word for it. According to the GIA's official grading information, proper diamond certification includes detailed analysis with plotted clarity diagrams, laser inscriptions with report numbers, and verification systems. Customers can enter a GIA certificate number online to verify authenticity and see the exact specifications of their diamond. The problem with hip-hop jewelry is that most custom pieces don't come with GIA certificates for individual stones. When you're buying a chain with 300 small diamonds, getting each one individually certified isn't practical. Customers rely on the jeweler's overall reputation and verbal assurances about quality. This is where lab-grown diamonds enter the equation. Johnny Dang himself acknowledged in September 2025 that lab-grown and natural diamonds are really identical, and that a regular consumer naked eye cannot tell the difference. Dang stated that, "Most of my customers are rappers, actresses, big ballers. In their eyes, lab diamonds are fake." This admission is important. It confirms that his high-profile clients specifically want and expect natural diamonds. So if they're being sold lab-grown stones at natural diamond prices, that's a massive problem. The price difference is staggering. As Dang explained, let's say the natural diamond, 1 carat, you can get up to $10,000. A lab-grown equivalent might be $800 to $1,200. If a jeweler is using lab-grown stones but charging natural prices across hundreds of pieces, we're talking about millions in excess profit. The industry-wide reckoning. The Johnny Dang controversy didn't stay isolated. It triggered a wider reckoning across hip-hop's jewelry industry. Rappers who had never questioned their purchases started getting pieces independently tested. Other jewelers found themselves under scrutiny. The culture of blind trust was crumbling. Sauce Walka became one of the most vocal critics. In March 2026, multiple YouTube videos appeared with titles like "Sauce Walka exposes Johnny Dang over fake diamonds." While Sauce had previously had disputes with Johnny over business relationships, the tone had shifted from personal beef to industry-wide concerns about authenticity. The controversy spread beyond just Johnny Dang. Sauce Walka also called out New York-based celebrity jeweler Elliot Eliante in May 2024. Sauce claimed Eliante's diamonds were fake and that multiple rappers had complained about poor quality work. This pattern revealed something important. The problem wasn't one jeweler, it was a systemic issue in how hip-hop jewelry was being sold and verified. Other artists started speaking up, though many did so privately. Nobody wants to publicly admit they got finessed for hundreds of thousands of dollars. It makes them look foolish. But behind the scenes, rappers were demanding more certification, getting second opinions, and being more careful about where they spent their money. The jewelry communities divided into camps. Some defended Johnny Dang, pointing to his decades of work and thousands of satisfied customers. They argued that the controversy was overblown, driven by jealous competitors and ex-employees with axes to grind. Others said the accusations were long overdue and that the culture of unchecked trust had let bad practices flourish. Social media became the battleground. Johnny Dang himself has denied all accusations of selling fake jewelry. He's maintained that his work is authentic, that any grading differences fall within normal industry variants, and that he's been unfairly targeted by competitors and disgruntled former associates. Young Thug's jewelry battle. While Young Thug's name often appears in discussions about Johnny Dang, the rapper's actual jewelry controversy is different from the typical fake diamond narrative. Young Thug's jewelry drama centers on a legal battle following his 2022 RICO arrests, not on quality disputes with jewelers. In May 2022, when police raided Young Thug's home as part of the massive YSL gang indictment, they seized $149,426 in cash, several luxury vehicles, including a Corvette, Porsche, and Mercedes-Benz, and numerous pieces of expensive jewelry. The seized items included a Rolex Datejust watch engraved with King Slime, diamond pendants, and various chains and earrings. The legal battle wasn't about whether the diamonds were real, it was about ownership. In February 2025, after Young Thug's release from prison following his plea deal, a Fulton County judge ordered that some of the seized jewelry be returned. However, there was a twist. Much of it wasn't going back to Young Thug himself. A jewelry company called Raffaello & Company filed claims stating they actually owned many of the pieces. Judge Paige Whitaker signed a consent order after the state Young Thug and Raffaello & Company reached an agreement. The jewelry, including that King Slime Rolex, diamond cross pendants, and tennis necklaces, was returned to Raffaello & Company, who would hold the items in trust. This reveals another aspect of hip-hop jewelry culture: payment arrangements. Many rappers don't outright purchase their most expensive pieces. They work out payment plans, loans, or consignment arrangements with jewelers. When legal troubles hit, these financial relationships become complicated. Young Thug was still fighting to reclaim his cars and the seized cash, though he did get some jewelry back. The case illustrates how high-value jewelry intersects with legal troubles in complex ways. Young Thug's jewelry from various jewelers, including Icebox and Johnny Dang, has been well documented over his career. Individual Young Thug pieces range from a few $1,000s to over $100,000, depending on the materials used. How rappers are protecting themselves now. The jewelry controversies have fundamentally changed how smart rappers approach buying ice. The days of walking into a shop, pointing at diamonds, and trusting whatever the jeweler says are over, at least for those paying attention. The first change: certification requirements. Rappers are now demanding GIA or IGI, International Gemological Institute, certificates for high-value pieces. Consumers can verify GIA certificates online by entering the report number on GIA's website. This creates a paper trail that protects buyers. Smart buyers are also requesting laser inscriptions on diamonds. GIA offers laser inscription services that etch the certificate number directly onto the diamond's girdle, the narrow band around the stone. This makes it nearly impossible to swap stones or misrepresent what's being sold. The second change is independent testing. Before making final payment on major pieces, some rappers now take jewelry to independent gemologist tests for verification. They'll spend $500 to $1,000 on professional testing to protect a $200,000 investment. It's due diligence that should have been standard practice all along. Third is the diversification of jewelers. Instead of being loyal to one jeweler, artists work with multiple sources. This creates competition and makes it harder for any single jeweler to finesse them repeatedly. If one jeweler's pieces consistently test lower than claimed, artists have alternatives. Fourth is the education. Financial literacy programs for young artists now include sections on jewelry buying. Organizations are teaching rappers about the 4 C's, how to read GIA certificates, and red flags to watch for. Knowledge is protection. Some artists have gone even further, hiring jewelry consultants, experts who advise on purchases, verify quality, and negotiate prices. It's an additional expense, but one that can save hundreds of thousands in the long run. The market has also shifted toward more transparency. Reputable jewelers now provide detailed documentation with every purchase, knowing that educated customers demand it. Those who refuse to provide certification are increasingly avoided. Trust and power in hip-hop commerce. The jewelry controversy is really about something larger: how hip-hop artists have historically been exploited by the industries they support. It's not just jewelry, it's record labels, management companies, merchandise deals, and countless other businesses that saw young, often financially uneducated artists as easy marks. Many rappers come from communities where generational poverty is the norm. When they suddenly have millions, they don't have the family advisors, accountants, or lawyers that trust fund kids have. They're navigating complex business relationships without roadmaps, and predatory business people know this. The jewelry finessing follows a familiar pattern. Create urgency. You need this chain for your video shoot. Leverage aspiration. Everyone who's made it has this. Provide just enough legitimacy, celebrity endorsements, expensive storefronts, and exploit information asymmetry. Buyers don't know enough to verify claims. What makes the jewelry scams particularly insidious is the cultural importance of ice in hip-hop. It's not optional, it's part of the uniform. Rappers feel pressure to stunt, to show they're successful, to prove they're not broke. This pressure creates vulnerability that some jewelers exploit. The Johnny Dang controversy, whether all accusations against him are fair or not, has done something positive. It's made the entire industry more transparent. Jewelers know they can't just rely on reputation anymore. Artists know they can't just rely on trust. Both sides are being more careful, more documented, and more honest. Some industry observers argue that the rise of lab-grown diamonds is actually positive. If marketed honestly and priced fairly, lab-grown diamonds offer the same visual impact at a fraction of the cost. They're also more ethical, avoiding the blood diamond trade and the environmental destruction of mining. The problem isn't lab-grown diamonds themselves, it's dishonesty about what's being sold. A culture learning to protect itself. The era of blind trust in hip-hop jewelry is over. Whether Johnny Dang was actually finessing clients or just caught up in industry-wide scrutiny, the conversation his controversy sparked has been valuable. Rappers are smarter now. They demand certification. They verify quality. They understand that just because someone is famous doesn't mean they're honest. For Johnny Dang personally, the damage to his reputation has been real. Multiple YouTube videos with millions of combined views question his integrity. Artists who once flocked to his Houston store now think twice. Some have publicly switched to other jewelers. However, Johnny continues to operate his business. His Instagram still shows celebrity clients. His defenders point to decades of quality work and argue that he's being unfairly targeted. The truth, as always, is probably somewhere in the middle, some legitimate concerns mixed with exaggeration, competitor jealousy, and the internet's tendency to turn every controversy into a scandal. What's undeniable is that the culture has changed. Hip-hop's relationship with jewelry is maturing. Artists are treating jewelry purchases like business investments rather than impulsive status buys. They're educating themselves on quality. They're demanding accountability. The lesson extends beyond jewelry. In every industry that serves hip-hop artists, from management to touring to merchandise, there's a growing expectation of transparency. The days of exploiting young artists' lack of business knowledge are ending, not because people are becoming more ethical, but because artists are becoming more educated. Young Thug, despite his legal battles being separate from the Johnny Dang quality controversy, represents this new awareness. His fight to reclaim seized assets shows an artist who understands the value of what he owns. His documented jewelry collection from multiple sources shows diversification rather than blind loyalty to one jeweler. The hip-hop jewelry game continues. Rappers still buy chains, grills, and watches worth hundreds of thousands, but they're doing it smarter. They're protecting themselves. They're demanding what they pay for. In an industry built on flash and trust, the Johnny Dang controversy reminded everyone that trust should always be verified with facts, certification, and independent testing. That's not paranoia, that's just good business. So there you have it. The real story behind hip-hop's jewelry controversy. Johnny Dang built an empire on trust, but when that trust was questioned, it shook the entire industry. Whether you believe all the accusations or think he's being unfairly targeted, one thing's clear: the game has changed forever. Rappers aren't just blindly buying ice anymore. They're demanding certificates, getting independent tests, and actually understanding what they're paying for. And honestly, that's how it should have been from the start. The lesson here goes way beyond jewelry. In any industry, music, fashion, tech, whatever, when you're spending serious money, verify everything. Don't care how famous the seller is. Don't care how many celebrities shop there. Get documentation. Get proof. Protect yourself. What do you think about all this? Did Johnny Dang actually finesse people? Or is this just industry drama blown out of proportion? Should rappers keep buying natural diamonds or embrace lab-grown stones? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We read every single one. If you learned something new today, smash that like button. It really helps the channel grow and lets me know you want more deep explorations like this. And if you're not subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button. We've got more videos coming on everything from record label scams to how rappers actually make their money. We're pulling back the curtain on this whole industry. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.